and thank you for tuning in to Ashland Tonight News. Today is Wednesday, March 19th, and here's a look at today's top stories.
A local home sustains of heavy damage from an afternoon house fire. More details when we come back.
A missing Lexington woman's body was found in the Mohican River. Learn more when we come back.
Tragedy strikes Mansfield when 5 were killed in a car accident. Stay tuned for the details.
The teens' joyride ended after they were arrested for stealing a Hummer. Find out how when we come back. I'm Brittany Lee.
And I'm Rana Hamid. It's all coming up next, only on Ashland Tonight News. Oh my gosh, I was lost. The Ashland Fire Department battled the house fire today on the 200 block of Ashland Avenue just after 1 p.m. The blaze, spotted by a passerby, fully engulfed the structure. No one was home at the time of the fire. TV2 spoke with the homeowner's sister shortly after a firefighter extinguished the flames.
He doesn't have a place to come back to, so that's the toughest part, really.
Patsy Briggs believes there was a space heater running at the time.
The body of Holly Metzger Caruthers was found Tuesday morning, located in the Mohican River in southern Holmes County. Caruthers has been missing since December 17th of 2007, when she was last seen at the Walmart Supercenter on Possum Run Road. Her car was found abandoned, located on Ohio 3 and Ohio 97 near Loudonville, the morning after she was reported missing. Holmes County Coroner Dr. Robert Anthony stated it appears Caruthers was drowned. However, the real reason of her death will not be known for up to 3 months when the autopsy is completed. She was a single mother of a 12-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. Caruthers was 34 at the time of death.
A tragedy strikes home in Mansfield when 5 people were killed in a car accident last Saturday. Ashland Tonight News reporter Michael Hartz has the story.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a car that wrecked at the end of Weldy. It's on 603. The car's on fire. The kids were outside. They said it flipped like 3 times. It's on fire in the woods.
Is anybody in the vehicle?
I would say yes.
Frantic calls flooded 911 dispatchers just after 4:15 Saturday, after a car traveling south on State Route 603 lost control and veered off the road. The car then struck a patch of trees and instantly burst into flames. All neighbors could do was watch and listen.
It was hideous. I can't describe it. I've never heard anything like that in my life. It sounded like a child. I'm not sure, but there were toys at the scene, and it was horrible, knowing that there's nothing we could do.
Also powerless against the inferno was the State Highway Patrol.
When we arrived on scene, the car was fully engulfed. There really wasn't much that we could do at that point. There was a female that was ejected from the car approximately 30 feet. I tended to her, and Trooper Kelly and Trooper Belcher tried to put out the car with their fire extinguishers.
It took rescue crews nearly 2.5 hours to free the trapped victims. Despite their efforts, all 5 occupants of the vehicle were pronounced dead at the scene. The driver, 21-year-old Brandon McNeil, his 23-year-old brother Terry McNeil, 30-year-old Wyatt Cross, and 12-year-old Ashley Nichols all perished in the blaze. 38-year-old Colleen Daly died after being thrown from the vehicle. All that remains now among the charred trees and scattered car parts are small mementos remembering loved ones lost. Troopers believe that speed was a factor in the crash and the investigation is ongoing. Reporting in Richland County for Ashland Tonight News, I'm Michael Hartz.
3 young men stole a 2006 Hummer from a driveway on Ohio 302 to take a joyride on Sunday night. It seems that they picked the wrong vehicle, though, because the Hummer was equipped with OnStar, which allowed sheriff's correspondents to identify its location and chase it. Nankin firefighters who were working on a chimney fire near to the driveway were able to confirm the Hummer's direction after it was stolen. Officers immediately chased the three men after the Hummer was located 5 minutes later. The chase ended after the vehicle crashed into a creek. Although the suspects succeeded in running away, they were apprehended soon after. Their steps were easily pursued through the deep snow. The suspects are Dustin J. Perkins, who is 18, and 2 other 17-year-old boys.
An Ohio National Guard student pilot has died when his F-16 crashed on Friday during an air-to-air training mission south of Alamo Lake, Arizona. Second Lieutenant David J. Mitchell's F-16 Fighting Falcon crashed at approximately 12:17 p.m., but was not located until 10:30 p.m. Rescuers could have only reached the site around daybreak Saturday via helicopter. It took them several hours to confirm Mitchell's death after they found his parachute 150 feet from the collision. Mitchell was scheduled to complete his pilot training in June 2008.
Things are back to normal now in Atlanta after a devastating tornado struck downtown Friday, leaving behind an estimated loss of about $250 million, according to Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner John W. Oxendine. City officials warned that the cleanup in the area might take time and encouraged commuters to downtown to stay home. The storm caused the largest loss recorded in Atlanta for tornado damage. The tornado that swept through the city on Friday night injured about 27 people, but luckily no death cases were reported. Well, last week most students went home for spring break, but some students were snowed in and witnessed the fire on campus. TV2 was there to cover the details. Also, the Habitat for Humanity students eventually left for spring break from the snow to tornadoes. It's all coming up next on Ashland Tonight News. Stay tuned.
What's it like when you hear your calling? Will you remember where you were? Will you ignore it? Or will you listen? What if it calls you to go halfway around the world? To share your skills? To serve people you've never met? To do things you never thought you could? What will you do when you hear your calling? Peace Corps, life is calling. How far will you go?
When you ask your child what they did in school today, do they tell you what happened here? How about there? Do you ask them questions about who they had lunch with or who they sat next to on the bus? Having a more specific conversation with your child may be the key to bully prevention. Bullying can affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Find out how you can help by calling for free information. Make time to listen. Take time to talk about bullying.
Every trip, every time, buckle up so you and your friends get home safely.
I must scream into the world from the top of some place very high.
Seatbelts save lives.
Okay.
Visit nhtsa.gov.
Low and slow. My best friend, what are you going to do?
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
That is spectacular advice.
A fire broke out Saturday, March 8, 2008, in one of Ashland University's all-female residence hall on campus. The fire was located in the student lounge of the 3rd floor of Clark and was said to be caused by a microwave oven that had been left unattended for a long period of time. The Ashland Fire Department was on site to maintain the fire, as well as the Vice President of Student Affairs and Dean of Students, Sue Hyman, and Director of Residence Life and Greek Affairs, Michelle Sheets. Approximately 25 students were being housed in the building during the time of the fire, as the other residents had previously left campus for spring break. Once the building's safety had been maintained, all 25 students were escorted into the building to gather personal items and were then housed in other dorms around campus for the night. According to officials, no one was hurt in the fire. However, the fire did cause an estimated $1,000 damage to the building and an additional $1,000 loss of content.
For lots of students, spring break was an opportunity to escape Ohio's freezing weather towards warmer places, in particular the beach. But for our own news director, Michael Hart, and other Ashland University students, spring break is an opportunity to build homes for those in need. About 20 students from Ashland and 3 staff members joined more than 12,000 fellow spring breakers from across the country who gathered to build habitat homes in Columbus as part of the Habitat for Humanity's Collegiate Challenge. But the snowy weather in Ohio that week hindered the on-time arrival of our own students who were supposed to be there on Sunday to participate in the start of the challenge. Expecting to be a day behind, the Ashland group received a surprise when they headed towards the work site on Tuesday. In fact, students from New Jersey City University started the Ashland House Monday in a step to help other fellow Ashland University students. The overall outcome of the students from the different colleges across the nation was building 10 homes in the Benning Drive area.
Ashland University held its annual spring convocation at 11 o'clock this morning in the Jack and Deb Miller Chapel. The welcome and invocation was given by Dr. Dan Lawson, and scriptures and prayer were given by Lydia Deirdre. AU's women's chorus performed Elijah Rock, as directed by Dr. Marla Butke, and Ashland University chorus or choir performed Rock in Jerusalem, as directed by Dr. Roland Blackley. Reverend Aaron Wardle then introduced Dr. Peter Slade, who was the main speaker of this year's convocation. Dr. Slade is one of Ashland University's assistant professors of religion. His message was titled The Destruction of Wisdom, in which he spoke of the importance of the upcoming Easter holiday throughout the world.
That time in the Christian calendar called Holy Week, churches all over this country and the world are holding services, culminating on Sunday with the celebration of Easter Sunday.
University has named Dr. Dawn Weber as Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. She will begin her new duties July 1st. Weber currently serves as Vice President of Academic Affairs and Dean of the College at Marymount Manhattan College in New York. She has held that position since 2002. AU Provost Dr. Frank Pettigrew said, "We are extremely pleased to be able to get a dynamic person like Dr. Weber to lead the College of Arts and Sciences. She has a strong academic administration background and she truly impressed everyone who met with her here at AU."
Ashland University chemistry professor and students have uncovered some important information to keep in mind when shopping for Easter decorations this week. Dr. Jeffrey Weidenhammer conducted an experiment in his class in which students tested toys that are found on the shelves in local stores. According to the test, 13 of 45 items that were tested contained lead-made paint. Included in these items were Easter decorations that were purchased at a Hobby Lobby outlet located in Mansfield. The toys containing the largest lead hazard were Easter egg spinning tops and plastic Easter eggs. Both of these items exceeded the government paint standard of 0.06% lead content. Lead is an extremely toxic element that is known to cause severe nerve damage, especially in young children. According to Weidenhammer, the toys with lead-based paint pose a risk if the paint chips. Parents are instructed to monitor their children with items that could be a risk. It is also advised that the items be discarded before they deteriorate, and that parents do not allow these items to be put in the mouth of children. Well, this rainy weather is really dragging things down for me, even though my rain boots have kept my feet warm and dry. So stay tuned to see your weather updates with Leland Gottlieb. Ashland Tonight News will be right back.
She won her first race by 13 lengths. The next month, she broke her leg. Using a surgical procedure developed through research with animals, doctors repaired it. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Personal
unleashing a furious one on the outside, and a 1/6 of a mile from the wire. Willie Collins is there. Personal engine, a dramatic finish, a dramatic finish.
Personal engine ran 13.
So, what have we got here? Sometimes you feel tired. You can't seem to lose those extra pounds off your midsection. And your joints hurt when you take the stairs? Well, you're getting older. But I'm happy to say that there's some simple things we can do to keep you happy and healthy for years to come. We can also lower your risk for some serious diseases the older population is often subject to. Proper nutrition is more important than ever. Your body has changed, you know. Not as many treats. A basic exercise plan, lots of walks and fresh air, and most importantly, come and see me for twice-yearly checkups to help ensure the best possible quality of life. Now, how does that sound? Good boy.
Improve the quality of life for your elderly pet. Schedule twice-yearly checkups that include preventive care and regular lab work. A message from the veterinary members of the American Animal Hospital Association.
Welcome back to Ashland 2-Night News. I am Leland Gottlieb with your weather. Well, folks, spring is 2 days away, so isn't everyone happy? I don't think I am, because we're seeing some snow showers outside right now. With this low pressure system along this cold front, it's moving up north. Yesterday, we saw some heavy rains around our area and some flooding. Today, we're seeing some snow showers as we speak outside. However, as we take a look to the west, we see quieter conditions with a weaker low pressure system, which will move through our area later this week. But the main idea is that a quieter trend is on the way. Now, with this snow, there's obviously cold air aloft. So let's take a look at those temperatures right now. Currently, we're sitting in Ashland around 32 degrees. Around the area, we're seeing temperatures in the 30s. And most of the U.S. right now as we speak is pretty warm for this time of the year. However, in our area with that snow and rain and the low pressure, we're seeing cooler conditions. There are no major Arctic outbreaks throughout the area, throughout the U.S. in the lower 48. Now let's take a look at the precip forecast. This is through tonight. Now, around the area, we have seen anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to an inch of rain. Now, the snow is mixing in, so it may mess up these totals a little bit. But we will see another 1/2 inch of rain, because there will be some rain mixing in with the snow. And with the snow, we'll also see another additional 1 to 1 inch of snow, maybe 3 inches in localized areas. Now, I want you all to take a look at the jet stream pattern. This is the forecast for tomorrow. We see a more westerly to easterly pattern, which means a more tranquil pattern. However, today we're in that dip, which means Arctic air plunges down. But later this week, throughout the next few weeks, we'll see this pattern take over, which finally means Old Man Winter is gone. Now let's take a look at that all-important 3-day forecast. We will see temperatures moderate by Friday. However, Saturday we'll see another dip with another weaker cold front coming in. That's all I have for weather. Here's Brendan with sports.
Thanks, Lee. I'm Brendan Bittner. Now let's get to all the action in AU sports. After knocking off Gannon and Ferris State in the first 2 rounds of the GLIAC tournament, the women's basketball team faced tourney host Michigan Tech for the title and a shot at the NCAA tournament. The Eagles had beaten Michigan Tech earlier in the season in the Upper Peninsula, but the Huskies got the better of the Eagles this time, 81-53. Lindsey Gott led the Eagles with 11 points. Ashland shot just 29% from the field in the game, while Tech hit 59% of their shots. Ashland's run ended there as they came up short of an at-large NCAA bid. They finished the season 19-11 overall. The men's basketball team run in the GLIAC tournament ended in the first round. They fell to Gannon 89-70. Ashland led the game after the first half 34-30, but nationally ranked Golden Knights rolled in the second half, shooting 71% from the field. 4 Eagles were in double figures, led by Tyler Rosenberger with 19. Cale Richardson and Brett Wackerly added 16, and in his final game at Ashland, Brett Bartlett had 14 points. Steve Gansey added 3 in his final game. The Eagles finished the season 13-16 overall. 3 Ashland wrestlers placed at the national meet in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. At 174 pounds, Justin Ferguson won All-American honors for the 2nd year in a row. He finished 5th at nationals. Josh Old joined Ferguson on the All-American team. also finishing 5th at 197 pounds. Muhammad Abdul Rahman continued his spectacular freshman season by finishing 6th at Nationals. Kyle Kanega and Marcus Gordon were unable to place at Nationals. As a unit, the Eagles finished 11th at the National Meet, where they finished 19th last season. The men's indoor track team took home 5th place at the National Meet at Minnesota State Mankato. On the individual side, Ashland had 2 men take home first place. Robert Klenk finished first in the weight throw, with his teammate Brian Vickers finishing a close second. Vickers followed up his second place performance by taking home the gold in the shot put. Dan Tierney also placed for the Eagles, taking 4th in the pole vault, and the 4x400 meter relay team finished in 4th as well. Brian Vickers was named Field Athlete of the Year. The women's indoor track team also headed up to Minnesota this past weekend to compete in the Division II National Championship meet. They matched the men's team by also placing in 5th. Tara Cooper won the national championship in the weight throw. Cooper beat out 2 other teammates as Ashland took 3 of the top 6 spots. Michelle Stark finished 2nd, and Jen Tinney took home the bronze in the shot put. The women's swimming team had 1 qualifier for the national meet held last week. The 200 freestyle relay team finished 14th in the meet with a time of 1 minute and 37.92 seconds. That team consisted of Jennifer Knight, Jessica Hennick, Ashley Shoup, and Allison Morgan. The men's swimming team also saw some success at the national meet in Columbia, Missouri. Freshman Eric Hackinson placed 7th in the 200 IM and 15th in the 200 freestyle. Freshman Derek Balo finished in 19th place in the 1000 freestyle. Congratulations to those athletes for their performances all season. The baseball team traveled to Fort Myers, Florida for 14 games in 11 days over spring break. The Eagles finished 10-4 on the season. On the trip, the Ashland Bats were in full force as they forced double-digit runs 6 times in the trip. AU fell in their final game against Nebraska-Omaha 14-5. Tyson Rowland, David Kuroga, Jeff Yates, and Josh Kirsten all had 2 hits for the Eagles. Todd Schlinkerman took the loss, giving up 9 runs in 6 innings of work. The Eagles should host Grand Valley in doubleheaders Friday and Saturday, but weather could be a factor if those games could be played. The softball team was also in Florida over spring break. They finished their trip to Orlando with a record of 8-6. The Eagles lost their final game to Nebraska-Omaha 3-1. On the day before, the Eagles beat Chestnut Hill on the arm of freshman Logan Hersey, who threw a no-hitter for Ashland. The Eagles next play at Tiffin on March 25th. The Eagle tennis team has finished their trip to Hilton Head, South Carolina. They went 3-1 on that trip, and they are now 7-1 in their spring season. They are next in action on April 5th at the Oberlin Invitational. That's a wrap on all your AU sports this week. Up next is Candace with your entertainment news. Stay tuned.
Nothing gets my blood pumping more than a packed stadium, fans cheering, and the swish of a perfect basket. When I was diagnosed with colon cancer, it became an eerie silence. Early detection helped me, and it can help you too. Today, colon cancer can be treated with minimally invasive surgery, which will get you back in the game sooner than open surgery. I want you to meet my friend, Dr. Michael Harris, who's joined me in the fight.
Good one, Coach. Each year, more than 145,000 Americans will be diagnosed with colon cancer. It's the second largest cancer killer in the United States, but it doesn't have to be. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and if found early enough, beatable. If you're over 50 or have a family history of colon cancer, speak to your doctor, get screened, and understand your treatment options. Heads up, Coach.
Visit mybluestar.org and pass it on.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News. I'm Candace Kaczynski, here with all of your latest entertainment news straight from Hollywood. After months of hearings, the bitter divorce between Paul McCartney and Heather Mills has finally been settled. It only cost the former Beatle a measly $50 million. Unfortunately for Ms. Mills, that was $200 million less than what she originally sought after. According to the judge, Justice Bennett, Mills was awarded hundreds of millions less because she was inconsistent and a less than impressive witness. Mills sought the high amount so that both her and daughter Beatrice would have a bright future. Apparently for Mills, that includes $1.2 million for full-time housekeepers and $2,500,000 for a year for new clothes. Oh, and of course, let's not forget the $80,000 a year needed for wine, which, as the judge pointed out, Mills does not even drink. Oh, but don't worry, she also hopes to continue her charity work, which, as she stated in court, consumed about 80 to 90% of her earnings last year. Mills stated that she would set aside $1.2 million to continue her work. However, she also admitted that nearly $1 million of that would be spent on en route helicopters as well as first class and private jets. Way to make a difference in the world, Heather. While the artist formerly known as Puff Daddy, aka Sean P. Diddy Combs, is finding himself in some hot water again. The hip-hop artist denied a report by the recent Los Angeles Times that his associates were responsible for the 1994 robbery and shooting of Tupac Shakur at the New York recording studio, and that he knew about the attack in advance. Diddy responded to the article by saying it is a lie, beyond ridiculous, and completely false. The 1994 shooting triggered the well-known feud between the East and West Coast rappers, which led to the killings of rappers such as Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. The Times said the story was based on FBI records, interviews with people at the scene of the shooting, and statements to the FBI by an informant. However, none of the sources were named. The story appeared as an exclusive on the Los Angeles Times website, but not in its paper publication. However, according to LA Times editor Meredith Artley, a smaller version of the story may still run in the paper. On a happier note, it is almost spring, a time in which new life is born, and for Halle Berry, that new life is named Nala Ariella Aubrey. The 41-year-old actress and her model boyfriend, Gabrielle Aubrey, welcomed their little girl into the world on Sunday in Los Angeles. Baby Nala, weighing a respectable 7 pounds and 4 ounces, is the first child for the couple. Both mom and baby are home and doing well. Barry and Aubrey met back in 2005, and although they have no plans for marriage, Barry states that they are fully committed to each other. And with that, let's take a look at your weekend box office hits. Starting us off at number 5, it's the thriller Vantage Point with $5.4 million. At number 4, it's Disney's College Road Trip, starring Martin Lawrence and Raven-Symoné. It pulled in $7.8 million. Debuting in the number 3 spot is the action-packed Never Back Down, which brought in $8.6 million. Staying strong at number 2 is 10,000 BC, which earned $16.7 million. And making its debut in the top spot, it's another classic from Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who, with a whopping $45 million. That's all I have for you this week. Stay tuned. There's more TV2 coming up.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News.
If your heart melts for soft and cuddly stuffed animals, please help out with the Teddy Bear Drive. Sponsored by the freshman class, new stuffed animals are to be turned into the Student Affairs Office to be donated to the Ashland Police. The animals will be distributed to children involved in accidents or domestic dispute calls.
And don't forget to wear your favorite cardigan or your slimming sweater vest. March 20th is being promoted nationwide as Sweater Day to honor children's public television pioneer Fred Rogers, who died of cancer 5 years ago. University employees are being reminded to wear a sweater in his honor on Thursday, which would have been Mr. Rogers' 80th birthday.
And finally, just a reminder that Easter break begins this Friday and classes resume on Monday, March 24th at 5 p.m.
And lastly, we would like to say a big congratulations to one of our favorite communication professors, Gretchen Jorsnick, who gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Riley Anthony, weighing 5 pounds and 11 ounces.
Wow, he's so cute. Big congratulations.
I know. Big congratulations, Gretchen. We're so happy for you.
Well, you know that means our TV2 is growing. You know, our crew, we're going to have more people to help us out here.
Definitely.
As soon as he can walk.
Well, that about does it for tonight's Ashland Tonight News.
We would just like to thank our TV2 crew, and if you are interested in helping out with Ashland's TV station, you can email tv2@ashland.edu.
That's right, and don't forget to join us next week on Wednesday at 5.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.